Well, hello there and welcome to the stream. So we got a little bit of a late start here, but we'll get with the program. Just bear with me one moment. So we are going to be doing Papercraft again. We successfully finished the bridge of the Enterprise D. And let's just get the things sorted here. My phone seems to have cut out, so bear with me one sec. We're having a few technical difficulties. Of course, wouldn't be anything without some technical difficulties. Hopefully this should start working shortly. There we go. We're there. We've just trying to get set up a little bit here. Hope everyone's okay where you are. Let's just swap that over. There we go. We're up and running. We're there. We're sorted. So, yes, yesterday we finished the Enterprise D bridge. I think that's pretty snazzy, if I'm honest. Not too shabby at all. That was the result of about 3 streams worth of stuff. So about 8 hours. Well, I'd say about 6 hours in total, maybe a little bit more. Turned out better than I thought it would. Things I'm not happy with. Some of the lines here are a bit shoddy, and it's not really got a lot of shadow work, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. But the LCAR's displays worked out a lot better than I thought they would. It's pen, and it was kind of rushed. I was trying to get the stream done quickly because I had to go out. We got the same thing today, but we won't be finishing what we start today either. Previous one, the Defiant, which I think turned out really well considering what it was. This was my first attempt at doing a ship in 2D, so in terms of paper crafting, I'm quite happy with this one. What I did say in yesterday's stream is that I would get the ship, the ship insignia, the ship font, and put the full registry at the bottom here on the frame. And what I also said is that I would start a series, which is what I'm going to do, in between projects, where I'm going to do the ship and then do the corresponding image of the bridge. Now, obviously, these don't match, but I'll be doing today the USS Enterprise D. I've already got the overlay for it, the reference trace for it. So we're going to be cutting this out, and then we'll be adding bits onto it, so that one will match the bridge, and then we'll do the Defiant bridge to make a complete set. And then going forward, we'll do the Voyager, we'll do the NX-01, and we'll do the original Enterprise as well. So I may even consider doing Deep Space Nine, as in the station, and then we can go from there. Really, the possibilities with this are endless. I've had a tremendous amount of fun doing this. And I think the result is pretty good. It's not professional level, but it's not really designed to be. It's me having a little bit of fun creating something, and hopefully you guys are enjoying the streams as they go on. However, we need to start somewhere, and I'll put these safely to one side for now, and we'll start with obviously some black card. We're using just a standard card, really, standard, relatively thin card. I'm not exactly sure what the GSM is, but we'll start with some black as a background. It's relatively thick, that one's got a little bit of damage in the corner. It's not too bad, to be fair. I think we can utilise that as a background. So what I'll do if we'll get the basic sort of setup sorted, the basic layout of the Enterprise, and we'll create some other bits as well. Get the basic layout, and then I shall do this off camera, off stream. I will do some splatter effects with acrylic paint, which I have done. I did 2 last time. Yeah, I did 2 last time. This one I'm not too happy with. It's kind of blotchy, so it didn't really turn out very well. Got a lot of streaks here, but we may use this as a temporary backdrop, and I'll redo another one for the background. The image that I'm using, the reference image, is going to be a little bit. It's not going to look like that when it's done. It's going to look more like the Defiant that I just showed. So yeah, I suppose we just crack on at this point. I'm having, like I said, I had tremendous fun doing this, so it will be interesting to see the results of the Enterprise D. First things first, we've got to pick our ship hull colour. I'm going to go with the same colour as I did the Defiant. Let's get some more card here. I've got loads of different shades of card. I do have a load of different shades of grey as well. Just got to actually find them. That's another pile of card. And we're going to pick our hull colour. That's a little bit too dark. That one looks like it might work. Not massively happy with the arrays of grey that I have. We pick out all our primary colours. They're at least on hand and easy access then, and I can always get more card if I need it. So I'm just looking for that one specific shade hull colour that I had. Hope everyone's okay where you are. Angels Pierre, hello there. How are you? I'll turn into Obi-Wan Kenobi for a second there. Hello there. Just trying to find out our hull colour. Basic hull colour. I'm not going for anything that shines. I want it to be a matte finish. So this card is a little bit redundant. Anything that's shiny is going to be a little bit redundant in these images. So I'm not going to be using those. We'll get rid of those. That's a good nacelle colour, I think. If I find a better blue, I will use it. But let's have a sort through, see what we can see. That looks more like the whole colour that I was going for. It might be the same colour, it might be the same shade. So we'll put that to one side as well. Red looks a little bit orange, to be fair, so we won't be using that. Pretty good so far. Just finished another game. How are you? I'm very well, thank you, my friend. Finished the Enterprise D bridge yesterday. I'll pull that up just for you. Finished it yesterday. Popped out really well. Really happy with it. Yeah, there is a little bit of a flaw here on the chair. You might not be able to see it, but it turned out pretty well. Couple of mistakes here and there, but all in all, I think it pops quite well. And as I said earlier, it started me off on a whole new tangent now, a whole new series of live streams. We'll be doing 10 forward as normal later on today, although obviously it's usually a Friday that I do that. I've got 2 different tones of grey here. That might work out for us a little bit better in terms of creating different sort of shades and where we want to go and what we want to do and how I'm going to go about this. I've not decided if I'm going for shading yet, so we're just picking out our colours. Yeah, I think that went. I think the Enterprise D went really well. I was really happy with the way it looked in the end. I'm just trying to find an appropriate red. That looks pink on the screen. It's not. It's actually red, that is, so we'll put that to one side. If we find a deeper red or a more vibrant red, we'll go for that. This one looks like generic white. Anything shiny, I don't want. I'm not interested, because we don't want that kind of finish. We do have some leftover red from the bridge. We've got 2 tones of red there. You'll be able to see. So that would... Yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, it turned out really well. I was actually quite surprised with how nice it looked in the end. I surprised myself, because I'm usually my own worst critic. That's going to be the different shades of white, and maybe some dark greys as well. I'm going to pull out a really darker grey. It's actually quite thick stuff, this, just in case. Primary colours we're looking for are obviously the red and the blue. The Enterprise doesn't really have much in the way of colour, so it may end up looking bland. What I might actually do as well is draw the windows in, draw some of the detail in. I'm not entirely certain if I can get the ship's registry done with cutting paper, but we will see. We've got a red, we've got a blue. That's quite a good blue. We've got a darker blue, but I don't think that goes. So I think we'll go with the blue that we've already chosen. I try to save card wherever I can, because, you know, it can be cheap, depending on what grade you want. So I think I try to save. This is the cutouts from the bridge. I try to save whatever I can, just for all those little bits and bobs that we do. I'm thinking that, and this for the main deflector pops out quite well, and we'll do the side nacelles with this as well. Yeah, happy with that. Black, we can do the phaser rings in black. They're going to be a little bit difficult to do, because they're on my trace. They are like a single line, but we can reinforce that. We'll get the basic shape cut out today, and start laying out the nacelles and what they look like, and so on and so forth. See how we get on. So I've already got some of this colour, so I'll put that to one side. We'll utilise that. I've got some white card here, and again, I don't know whether we're going to be adding highlights, so I'll put that to one side as well. And 2 tones for the hull. I'm sort of thinking this for the hull, because this seems a little bit too light, so we'll go for this. And because of the size of the image, it's probably not going to fit on there, is it? No, it's not going to fit on there, so we'll put that offcut to the side, and we'll try and utilize this as much as possible. Now, I'm going to try and be a bit clever here if I can. We can transfer that way round, because none of this really matters, because we can then flip the card over that way and place it down. So I'll be happier with that, I think. And it will start creating a bit of a mess if any of it transfers over. So got some decisions to make there. Or I just copy it over that way. So we've got the front of the ship, which I might, the edge of the saucer, I might do a lighter colour of that to highlight the front. And then down here, you've got some strips here that you can use to highlight and make it 3D. and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when it happens. I'm streaming a bit early today because I have to be somewhere at about 3, so I'll be finishing the stream about 2, so that's about 3 hours away. 2.5, 3 hours. We also want to highlight the captain's yacht. And we can put the phase rings. So let's get cracking, shall we? We'll move these out of the way. Like I said, this star field, I'm not happy with it. I'm going to redo it onto this. I'll do some splatters off stream, get it prepared and everything. Put that to one side as well for now. So we want some regular paper or a board or something. Got this. It's shiny, but it should be fine. And then we'll get our colours that we're going to use. I'll take the brown away because we're not going to use that. Get them out of the way there as well. Put that up there. Might actually use this for the highlights because save a full sheet of card, it's the same colour, so that's good. Right, pencils. I've got a tester sheet here, which I used to do some of the LCAR's background designs, so that's pretty good. It works. Okay, so we're going to start by just getting all of the outside of the ship, going around all of these, this outline. Nothing too strenuous. This as well. I think we're going to narrow this. This sort of goes there, I think. Yeah, so if we'll cut this bit out, and it'll be like a hole for everything. Okay. Let's go for it. So if you are new here and you're looking at something I'm doing that you're enjoying, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That really helps the channel to grow. Tells me that you're interested and like the stream and like what I'm doing. I'm going to try and keep this as thin as I can. And as straight as I can. Drawing in straight lines is not my strongest suit. Especially with the size of this pencil, I might, for the next stream, I might get a longer pencil. Pencil control is hard enough without adding the fact that I'm gripping the pencil in a really odd way. It's very relaxing to watch, considering that I've just gone through an argument with certain fanboys that don't understand basic finances. Oh, I'm glad I'm able to help you relax, mate. To be fair, I always find stuff like this kind of relaxing to do and to watch. So I'm grateful that people enjoy it. May have to sharpen this a moment. It's just getting shorter and shorter, this pencil. I've got loads more. So it's not the end of the world. I also want this to come out a little bit there, just to get that shape there. If the mic's too loud, let me know. If it's too quiet, also let me know, and I'll do what I can to make it right. Sound. I'm not a sound engineer. I'm actually quite hopeless at sound, to be fair. As I've been told many times by many comments. Oh, your sound's terrible. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I don't film my stuff with Dolby Atmos in mind. 7.1 surround sound systems. Okay. That's a pretty good outline. Okay, we're not going for detail because this is the very back piece. Okay, so we're not going for a great amount of detail. Get our hull color. Now the issue here is supply. I don't have an awful lot of this hull color. I will get more, but I want to try and save as much as I can. So I'm not going for a dead center cut. I'm going to chuck it up into a corner and try and utilize as little card as possible to try and get this. Just try and save as much card, because there's a chance when I do the Voyager will fit into there, or if I did the TOS Enterprise, I'll probably use a different shade for that because it was quite a good deal whiter. But not only that, I could start doing an entire run of ships, so I could do the Enterprise A and with all the original Enterprise refit as well, and some of that could fit in here, but just try and save as much card as possible. Now here comes the fun, transferring the graphite onto here so we can cut it out. So I'm going to start. Let me start here and work my way out. All I'm doing is I'm just rubbing this over with a ruler, keeping the paper as still as possible while I'm doing it. I used to use tape to hold it down, but for this you could end up damaging the card and it can get a little bit dicey. So all we're looking for is a rough outline, and I can fill out any gaps that I need to before I start cutting. So you just follow this line. And I found this tracing method really does help, because you can build your image onto a sheet of tracing paper and keep it proportionally the same. I have done freehand work before. It's not something I'm willing to try with this at the moment. I want to get some success with this first, and then try and move to freehand if that's possible later on in the future. Let's just double check this is transferring. It is very lightly transferring, but I should be able to build the rest or draw the rest in standard pencil. You kind of just have to trust the process here, because it's not going to look like much right now. My arms have a little bit of a rest. I took the kids go-karting the other day, and they're electric go-karts. My God, they go like the bloody clappers, and they throw you about a little bit. And obviously, me being as young as I am, no, I'm getting old now. I'm basically not as fit as I used to be, and yeah. Enough said about that. My freaking body is aching. So that's actually not too bad. Let's just go over. See, I've got a longer pencil now. It's a lighter grade of pencil though. So I just want to try and see if I can straighten this out at all. Just give it a more natural curve. The Enterprise has got some beautiful curves. I find the Enterprise D to be extremely aesthetically pleasing. Unlike with car enthusiasts, how they can find a lot of beauty in a Shelby GT500 Mustang, I can find a lot of beauty in the Enterprise D. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous ship, and it's you know, I'd be very proud if I was captaining one of these Galaxy class starships. Right, it's cutting time. Nice pair of material scissors, fabric scissors. I've found them to be really, really good. They're high quality, which is nice. Always nice to have. Hello, A Good Place. None of my friends liked the Spider-Man. I thought it was a great film. In the sense of just being a Spider-Man movie, it was relatively good. Some bits I didn't agree with, some directions they took. I'm not going to talk about any spoilers or anything like that, but some of the directions, some of the decisions that were made, certainly towards the end, I didn't necessarily agree with, but it wasn't terrible. You know, it wasn't the worst MCU film I've ever seen. It's certainly a lot better than what has been out in the last few years. I did enjoy the third movie. I thought that was really good. So let's get this cut. I'm just going to stick the light on the old camera here. I use a camera phone, funnily enough, as a webcam. And it doesn't do a bad job. So we'll stick the light on, and go from there. Right, gives me a little bit of an extra source of light here. Let's begin the cut. Very carefully, because again, this particular card, this particular shade, I'm not well stocked on, so want to try and get this as correct as possible, even if I'm cutting outside the lines and I trim down later. I'll see about getting my setup set up for a proper sort of ASMR experience, because I do like how relaxing this is. And I think if I compile, because I'm screen recording the source, so what you're seeing in this window, I'm screen recording that as well. So I have the potential to turn it into videos once Strange New Worlds is done. And I think that might attract more people to the channel if they enjoy this sort of thing. I can cut out a lot of the conversation. I could even put some music to it or something. I think it'd be quite cool. A great barber once told me, you can always cut more off, but you can never glue your hair back on. So whatever you want, be sure what you want before I cut it. I'll try and avoid any damage to the card itself. Any folds, creases, or anything, we'd have to start again, because I just want that level of quality. We try to stick to the lines as well, because we use the trace to get all of the other pieces drawn and cut to size. So if we go shorter than we should, or anything like that, you end up with bits not looking right. So if this base isn't cut right and it's slightly off in any way, it can affect the rest of the picture. Try and get these curves right. There's a little bit of a bump there. Oh shit, balls! I went too deep. Yeah, That's a shame. Got this odd shape here now. Let's see if we can tidy this up. Give it a more natural curve. Oh, yeah, that'll do. Try not to fiddle too much because great painting teacher I used to have said, whatever you do, don't fiddle too much. And end up ruining your artwork. So this sort of stuff I am self-taught. I did go to a few painting classes a few years back. Proper Bob Ross trained instructor, and she was brilliant. She moved down south, so I can't really drive all that way to go for an art class. So I sort of knocked it on the head. But I'm really enjoying cutting from this side because I can't really see the line. I suppose we could always trim if we needed to. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep it in frame for you guys. Okay, that looks pretty good. Just get a black background just to make it stand out. Yeah, that's spot on. We do have this bit here we're going to have to cut out, which is absolutely fine. We'll do that now using Stanley blade. Or obviously always very careful when doing this. What did you think to Spider-Man: A Good Place? Did you enjoy it? Was there anything you disliked about it? Try not to put spoilers or anything for the few people that decide to watch. But tell me whether you enjoyed it or not. See if we can pop that out. Yep. Apologise if my nails are dirty. They look okay, to be fair. A little bit of dirt here and there. I was doing some basic chores before I started. Right. Always put the safety cap back on. Okay, Enterprise D, basic shape sorted. I'll always try and do the highlight sections. But if we get started with the main deflector, I think that might be better. Yeah, we can start cutting that out. That's absolutely fine. So we have the main Enterprise shape. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'll stick that there for now. What's the base background is going to be for the deflector? Blue. So we'll go with this blue. I'll try not to knock the camera, but it is wired a certain way, so I will do my very best. Ah, crap. That's shut down. Sorry, guys. I am... It's very silly behaviour from the old software here. With you very shortly. I think this wire isn't very good. I'll get a better wire next time. Right, so that's that sorted. Okay, and I've turned the light back on. There we go, and we'll flip it. There you go, that's better. Right, so next up, main navigational deflector. We do actually have two. The new Spider-Man, without spoilers, has problems. It confirms my lack of confidence. Doomsday movie is not going to flop, but not a great movie. Yeah, it was all right. It was okay. It wasn't groundbreaking. Yeah, I'm sick of the Zendaya as well. She's not MJ. She and her husband have no chemistry. His action is brilliant, and she can't act. Well, she can act. She just doesn't have range. She's not got a lot of range. I'm not a fan of Zendaya at all, in any way, shape, or form. I have come to a bit of a decision about this. There's a ring. There's a ring. There's an extra ring here. And it goes here. And it's like a shadow. So if I were to create a shadow, what I'll do is I'm going to start with a darker tone blue here, going around here, and oh boy, now I'm starting to plan ahead, you see, because this here, this front strut, that's a highlight, yeah. So that's a highlight. This is a highlight. So I'm thinking, if we go for this next, we cut this next out of the highlight card. I'm not too worried about this yet. I'm gonna, we'll see what it looks like, because I can join that or overlap it. It's not a problem. If I start with the highlight bit here, as in a base highlight color for all of this, I can then cut this darker tone, then cut the red, then have a blue. Hold on, am I getting this right? Darker tone, blue, sorry, red, blue, red. That's that. I think that's the plan. So we'll get the highlight color, which is going to be. Do we have enough cut of that? Before we start getting into any detail, let's start at the back of the picture. This is the highlight color. So very, very different colors. So let's go. Hollywood is obsessed with putting the same actors in every movie. It's really annoying. They do seem to have a lack of A-list diversity in the sense of someone who isn't Pedro Pascal, who isn't Zendaya. I'm quite frankly sick of seeing both of them. And yeah, it all depends on what role they're playing. So a lot of the time they'll just be put in there because it's who they are, you know. It's because of their name. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against the idea, because, you know, hello, Tom Cruise, for example. Sometimes I see a Tom Cruise movie and think I'm going to watch that just because it's Tom Cruise. Not a massive Tom Cruise fan, but I do like them. He's got a good track record. He's got a good amount of movies that he's in, which are pretty good. So I'm going to do these highlights. We use that edge there. And then go down around the outside. Oh, now I'm wondering whether it's best to go down here and around here. Hopefully you guys will be joining us for 10 Forward later. It is a slightly different time, obviously. Well, slightly different day, excuse me. Excuse me. I didn't know whether that one was coming. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the Strange New Worlds Event Horizon crossover which wasn't a crossover, but might as well have been. Awful episode that was. Didn't quite hurt my brain, but okay. That looks good. I think it's a bit dusty in here. As the Americans would say, I've got allergies. Typical Hollywood screaming diversity at every chance, at the same time casting the same 5 people. Where is the diversity there? Well, yeah, I think the diversity thing is a bit silly. You don't hire someone because of what they look like. You hire them because they're good at what they do. It's always the case, though. You know, you could hire someone who looks like me, big teeth, gangly, and I could be like the world's foremost expert on particle physics. But if I don't look right, I'm not good for the public eye, am I? It's absolutely ridiculous. But I'm not getting into that conversation here. I'm just doing papercraft. But that's what I'm enjoying right now, is a bit of papercraft. Now this, we have to be a little bit careful, because there are some rather thin pieces of card here, or there are going to be some rather thin pieces of card here. So we want to really be careful with what we're doing. Yeah, there you go. Some of the other stuff transfers over, but you just don't cut around it. Tempted, just for ease of cutting, just to cut the square out, which I'm going to do. Yeah, cut the square out. It's not very square, though. Okay. Put that to one side for now. Okay. Oh, excuse my sniffing. And essentially a property that was very close to a lot of fields yesterday, so I'm suffering a little bit. Okay. Yeah, the control you have with these scissors is tremendous, and they don't hurt your hands like normal scissors. They're really nice. Normally with metal scissors, you sort of go, "Oh, my hand hurts," after a while, but don't get me wrong, after 12 hours of doing this, I'm sure my hand would hurt. I'm going to struggle now to remove this pencil without causing damage to what I'm doing. So I have to sort of really be gentle when I'm erasing this pencil transfer. This is going to be so delicate. Try not to cut my bloody fingers off as well. Again, if we mess up for any reason, we can simply just cut another piece of card. It's not the end of the bloody world. I don't know why, but me and my friends are sadder, lower energy after watching the Spider-Man movie. I can't understand why. At the end of the day, it could be for a great many reasons. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that you may have been quite hopeful that the tide turned. Possibly. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, mate. But either way, try not to let things get you down. Find the good in things, you know, find the happiness in things, because that's why I'm doing stuff like that, because it makes me happy to create stuff like this. Use the overlay here just to get positioning right. To be fair, I wasn't far off. I wasn't far off with this. Yeah, try not to let stuff get you down good place, because it's not the end of the world. All right, we've been through it with Star Trek. All right, the MCU is going through it now. That will curve down there. I'm not exactly happy with the position of that. We're going through it with Star Trek now. We've got a little bit longer to go. I feel, before things do start to improve, because they have to get the old guard have to be removed now. We have to start getting stuff from the new people in charge. I think Kurtzman's out personally. I don't think he's going to have his contract renewed in September. And if he does, well, everyone will be done with Star Trek. If he had contract renewals or extensions, we would be hearing something about new shows. New shows would have been announced. Academy wouldn't have been cancelled. But I think now Paramount are starting to, I don't want to say come to their senses. I think maybe just restructuring. I think restructuring is probably more accurate. Starting to realise that the merchandise isn't making money. People are not interested. And realising they have to be careful. I think Marvel's doing the same, but Marvel's in an unfortunate position. They can't just do a cold reboot, a hard restart. They can't do it. It's not possible. With what they've already built. Maybe Doomsday will do a hard reset. I just don't think it'll be a very good film. It will be well received because it's Doomsday, and people want to give Marvel a chance. But if it sucks, that's it. They're cooked. They're done. In terms of the fandom, they'll always make money. That's what they do. Try not to knock this wire because I think the wire's knackered. But yeah, possible. At the end of the day, mate, you know, like I said, try not to let things get you down. Think there's always room for improvement on things, and there's always hope. That so much apathy is set in now. And I think studios are well aware of this. Doctor Who's done. There's no recovery for that show. I don't think. It needs to be shelved. And then you need to get a Doctor Who fan in who isn't just going to fanboy stuff. And I'm not usually one for studio interference, but sometimes they do put the reins on. Right, I need a darker blue here. I need a darker blue. Darker blue. There we go. Darker blue. So we're going to have that for a shadow. You might be able to see the difference there. That for the shadow. That for where the deflector starts. And we'll just build it up layer by layer. Yeah. 10 forward should be fun tonight. I think I've got Gooner. Xell should come in too, and I'm hoping Watch Nerd's going to be available. I will contact her later just to see what her plans are. With it being a Sunday night, they may not stick around too late, but I'll be there as late as I can be, because I have another week off work, which means more of these streams. You might not be able to see that. I can just about make that out. So. Right, so we want the inner line, not the outer line. Again, I'm going to cut the square out. Not very square. I don't think I'm an engineer of any caliber or capacity. This is a bit of shadow work. Shape must be translated. Otherwise, it's not going to look right. I have to be very careful with these pieces now. does that look right, or does it need trimming down? I'd probably take this and make it smoother. Make that arch a little smoother. Yeah, that looks all right. Now, beauty is the next piece is going to go on top of here, and it should, if I do it right, it should match up. Yeah, so that was almost perfect. Okay, so the next section, it all has to match up with this, so I need to cut it exactly the same. And if we've got any overlay, I can always trim it down. Right, I'm looking over here. You're over there. Right. So the next layer is going to be this, and it's going to be here, and it's going to be this shape. It's going to be the exact same shape. It's going to be interesting. Not done this before. So we're going to overlay some more of this, exactly the same. Applying some pressure to the card, to the paper and the card, just to get this edge right. Make sure it doesn't move, because we don't want any change in dimensions. You might think I'm making this too complicated. I probably am, but it's a good way of achieving what we need. I'm going to leave this on the card and cut exactly where the line goes. Try not to knock that wire. I don't like cutting this side because you can't really see where you're going, but I'm going to try anyway. Is that that's a flaw. I've got a flaw. Damn it. Damn. A little cut flaw there. Damn it. See if I can trim it at all. Okay. All right. Let's see what that looks like. So these edges should meet. This is going to need precision gluing. I don't think that looks too bad. As long as we get the other rings spot on, I don't think that looks bad. Okay, so we'll move that out of the way. Now we're going for the red. Do I go for the lighter red or the darker red? I think the darker red will stand out more. Yeah, that will stand out more. We'll go for the darker red. And now we're going to do this inner ring here. Sharpen. Maybe ovalize it a little bit more. Now, I could also do something else here. That's going to be no. I'll have to layer it up. I was thinking about cutting this all out the same piece, but I think that'll look messy. So if I cut this red, then put a blue background on, then build it up to a red. It'll build it out, and I think that'll look better. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. That's the inside line is the one I want. Some dogs barking outside. There we go. Let's cut this oval out. Make sure it stays an oval. I'm going to cut this out because then I can hold the paper differently. Come on, don't fuck around, don't fork around. Oh, damn, that's messy. That's messy. So you can ovalize that a bit more. It's tough to see exactly where you're cutting. I'm running the risk of breaking my own rule about fiddling. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that works. Now we want the inner section. This is where it starts to get a little bit dicey. So let's transfer that. Let's get that drawn. Center ring, blue. Shape's important. Yeah. That'll do. I'll clean all these pieces up so it looks all right. Good Lord, this is going to be very tiny. And the final piece, I'll probably Stanley out, to be fair. Because this is already getting really small. Not massively happy, but... Okay. And now the red. This is definitely a Stanley it out sort of deal, I think. Yep. I can even put the 2 dots there if I want. Let's get this over here. Then we'll try and arrange it all if I can before we glue it, because I want to build it today. I want to build this deflector today. How long have we been going now? Probably about an hour. So God, that's tiny. Let's give this a go, shall we? You might not be able to see that, but I can. I don't want to redraw over it because I'll lose the lines. So if we... This is so difficult. It's so tiny. God, that's small. That's so small. Let's see what we can do here. Clean this up a bit. Yeah, that's tiny. That's really small. We need to get that glued down. Probably this bit first. This doesn't matter which way it goes. Put it down that way. You really get a sense of your rough edges. I need to just take that little bit off. Just neaten that up. Okay, this is going to be a dab the glue. Get some glue on the end of the pick here and try and spread some on. Come on. There you go. Whew. It's down. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing here. That's delicate work. Possible. Aren't your eyes straining? My eyesight is getting worse over time. I'm not going to lie. But no, I can just about see. My glasses are pretty powerful. There may come a time when I will need a microscope. Or will need to use a microscope because I've actually got one for the repair channel. I need some scrap here or some. Utilize this. Yeah, I've got a microscope which I can use if it does get especially bad. But no, I'm finding that my eyes are starting to fail me a little bit, but it's all right. I'm under the care of opticians anyway. So screen use doesn't help. This sort of thing is fine. Screen use, that doesn't tend to help. Let's get a big dollop of this. Stick it on. Something's worth doing, and it's fun. Take the strain. Lovely. Let's say that's pretty good. Now I think we need to make sure that this is all in line. Highlighted there. Right, so we'll stick that down there. This we don't need the pics for. I can just run this. This is big enough. Yeah. I'll do. Get rid of that. Get this positioning right. Just pull it over a little bit. Yep. Then I need to plan where this is going, or how this is going. Is it going at the bottom? So I thought I had it where it was in the corner. I mean, to be fair, I could drop it there and it'll look all right, won't it? I think. I mean, I don't really want to stick it further in the corner. That, I think, is too much. Or is it? I need to trim that down at all. I think that looks fine. In fact, if I put that there, put this on there, maybe a bit. How's that look? A bit low now. Centrally. How's that look? Does it look off? Or do we just go put it in the middle? Like that. Offset that way. How's that look? I still think that needs to go further over that way. Yeah, I think that needs to go further over that way. So if I... Let's see if we can trim this down a little bit. Just the point. Right, it sits in there. Yeah, it gives that illusion. Let's go a bit lower down. Maybe trim the bottom just a little bit. We're talking about a fraction here. That edge there. It makes it look set in, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's go for it. Let's see what happens. My stomach rumbling because I doth not had breakfast yet, and yes, I know it's the most important meal of the day, but the way my day is planned out. And then this, I think, needs to go that way. I mean, to be fair, we could flip this, couldn't we? It might look a bit better the other way. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go for it. Let's see what happens. It needs to set properly. Right. This is where the Enterprise will begin to pop now. Look at that. This is why I love doing it. This is why I love doing this stuff. When you start to lose a little bit of faith, this happens. And something starts looking actually not half bad. Because you've got a good highlight there. And I'm going to do a highlight down here and one down here going up to the nacelle. And then a highlight around this edge here. Hopefully. Won't look too bad. But that is actually not half bad. Let's see how it lines up with the trace. That'll be the real tell if I've done this right or not. Look at that. That's almost spot on. The rings aren't, but that's okay. I'm not too fussed about that. I mean, I can always... Still a bit of room. That looks better. That looks better. That brings it closer to the trace. In fact, that pulls it nearly in line. So that's better. That's the perspective I was missing. That's all right. That's good. Yep. Okay. What's next on the agenda? What's next on the agenda? I'm thinking highlights. Did we glue that into place? What do you think? I think we glue that into place. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going for it. I'm going to glue this in place. Now, be very careful with this. These longer bits. I think it went around about there. And we'll get the main bit stuck down before we do anything else. Get it lined up first to make sure that is sitting where we want it to sit. And then just give it a bit of a push with the paper. I don't really want to do that too much, if I'm honest. Because it can transfer some of that graphite down. These highlight sections are going to be a nightmare. Stick. Just want it to stick. It's not sticking. All right. Ooh-wee. Okay. Gonna have a black strip here as well for the phaser. Black ring for the phaser up there. The different just thinking now, thinking out loud. The underside section. Again, I'm not going with this particular lighting. I'm just lighting it in my own way with a light source coming from here. I'm thinking for the outer ring and for the the bit in the saucer where it curves down the oval. Just wondering how that will work in terms of lighting. Because if I do a section that's highlighted and then do the same, another section here that's very clearly not separated by the phaser ring. Because I can't just put a phaser ring on this and expect it to look good. You have to highlight. Now I'll highlight the outer top edge because that's where like 10 forward is and whatnot, and that will give it the apparent 3D. And I can highlight these sections here, which will give a bit of make it pop in a 3D way. This highlight will follow this line up here. But we really need to see, and we can maybe draw a few lines in. I'm not sure, because this bit stands proud. Decisions to make, decisions to be made. Why does it feel like I'm watching heart surgery? The stakes aren't quite the same, but it's delicate work. It's delicate work. I'm going to go with the highlights next. Let's do the highlights. They're going to be quite difficult to do, so I might as well get the tough stuff out of the way. I forgot to put my safety cap back on. Literally just jabbed myself. There it is. Right, so rather large bit of card. Transfer card. Where are you? Well, put the Enterprise safely over here. Creaky chair. Right. I'll sharpen. It's going to be a very, very clearly defined line as a highlight. A lot of the detail you can add with pen, but let's do the top one first. If it overlaps, we can very carefully, we can turn this around and we can cut around the edge. This is the line I want to get right. A real decent way to do this without wasting card, is there? You've got all this dead space here. Dead space. Trying to think of the best way to utilize it to save card, but I think this section here is probably going to be the best idea. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it, because I can still utilize this. So this is the line we need to get right, this lower line. wrong side, didn't I? I knew something was wrong there. I've done this a few times now. I've made a right cock up. I transferred the wrong side. Nothing transferred. What an idiot. Now this is going to be really scruffy. I'm going to have to clean this up. So what I might do... No, yeah, there's no way to do it because it's an unequal angle. Right, okay, let's just transfer it again. I can't believe I did that. I wondered, why is this smudging so much? Of course, I wasn't actually... I was rubbing the wrong stuff on. So this is going to need a very careful clean. And because I've been an idiot and I've transferred the wrong side, this is going to be a really awkward cleanup. It has to go well, this does. Otherwise, I have to start again. This could potentially get very messy. Because if I have to rub out the trace on the tracing paper, that's messy. Let's make sure we do this right. And gently as possible. What an idiot. I've done that a few times now. There we go. It's not too bad, actually. That's not bad going. That's transferred quite nicely. You might not be able to see it too well, but that has transferred quite nicely. I'm just going to go over it with the lighter shade of pencil, just filling in a few of these gaps that look a little bit on the dodgy side. This is where we have fun cutting it out. Like I say, I'd rather cut this side of the line on this one and have it slightly overlap, because I can always trim that with a knife if I need to. Paper's forcing me in a little bit here. I don't like that. I'm cutting that off because that's just too much weight to carry. This is the one that's so important to get right. God damn it. I've gone too far in. I don't think that's going to look right now. Let's just keep going, see what it looks like. Try not to crease the damn card. I may have to do this again. It's so crucial you get it right. Damn it, I've creased it. See how it looks. If it looks bad, we'll God damn it, that's actually looking pretty good. if we get it there, how does that look? It's put onto there. Oh, damn, that looks good. Okay, yeah, we'll use it. We'll use it. It's not perfect. I don't like the fact that I cut off too much here, but it's okay. It's okay. Hello, Stephen Bromby. Hello, afternoon, DM and chat. Well, it is afternoon now. I can't believe it. Time is flying. Time flies when you're doing this. It really does. Right, so we need to clean this up with a bit of rubber in, but erasing. You're erased. Need to just gently clean this up all the way down. Enterprise D is well on its way. Mr. Bromby, how are you? Are you well? Still reveling in that $100 super chat that I got yesterday. I can't believe it does that. It's way too generous. I am so not worth that money. Right. Damn it. I am so not worth that money. But I really do appreciate it. I really do. But my God, people don't need to be doing that. I'm just here for a bit of, you know, mild entertainment. Right. Boo, 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 boo. I think the deflector turned out really well, don't you? Nice, you're drawing the bestest ship. I may be slightly biased, of course. No, I agree. It is the bestest ship. I've said before, and I'll say it again. I think the Galaxy class is one damn ass fine looking ship. I do like the Enterprise E. I've got a lot of time for the Enterprise E. Let's start from this end. But it is a cool looking ship, the Enterprise E, but there's nothing quite like the D. Let's run this through the glue and see what happens. This is delicate work. Try not to get any on the top surface if I can help it. Right. This is going to take a bit of doing. Let me just clean my fingers. Clean the pick. Get rid of any excess. That's important. Oh. This is so flimsy. Let's try it. Okay, going from this edge. Come on down. I can get messy. Gotta be quick as this is drying. So what I mean, it dries so very quick, especially in the higher temperatures. Gooner, hello. Welcome, welcome. We are doing the Enterprise D, my friend. Yeah, it's very well, mate. How did the stream go yesterday? I'm sorry I couldn't join for longer. I was exhausted. We'd been out socializing. might be the toughest highlight I've ever done. It's not by any means equal. It doesn't look great, but it's not bad. I got a bit of navigational deflector heaven going on here. Okay. While I've got the highlight stuff out, do we do this? The highlights here. I say yes. I say yes. Let's do the highlights here. I can utilize this. Let's get an idea of where these highlights are supposed to be. So really, we're going for here. Pencil broke. Yes, finished the game. Very enjoyable. No need to apologise. Streaming crazy hours. You're a proper night owl, you are, mate. Proper night owl. Yeah, you got bloody stamina with that, mate. I tell you. Streaming stamina. Right, so these two bits here, they're going to be more highlights. Let's see what we can squeeze on to this card here. Where's me rubbing ruler? Got it the right way round this time. Imbecilic moron I am. That's one. We'll try getting them as close together as we can. Now, the question is, do we cut these or do we? Oh, sorry, we'll cut them. I won't do it with the knife. Got a bit of light here. If I need more light, I've got another light, overhead light I can stick on. These are quite important to get right as well. Very thin. I've cut it a little bit short there. That's one. That's two. Beauty of the Enterprise D encapsulated by the brilliant DM. Oh, mate, you're too kind. Way too kind. Far too kind, in fact. Stop being so kind. I'm really tempted to track down one of the AMT model kits of the D and build it. I would love to have a model of the D again. Yes, mate. They're still available somewhere. eBay's probably your best bet. I've got the DS9 to build. I do have a built version of the D, but it's in pieces because it didn't survive a lot of moves. But I did keep it. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. I never finished it. And same with the Voyager model that I built. I never finished it. And a Defiant model, I never finished that. I've really got For a completionist, I've got a completionist problem where I don't complete stuff. But I want to get. I will eventually get around to the completed nose. What else? Is that right? Is that right? No. No. Is that for that one? Is that? Oh, I've forgotten which side goes where. Is that one? No, that's got to be that one. Surely. Yes, that's that one. Confirmed. And this has got to be this one. It has. Does that look right? No. Cut that back a little bit. Put it there. It's just I'm annoyed about that. I need to. There. That's got to go there. Right. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Still tacky. Stop leaving this glue open. Let's get these glued down. Looks a bit weird now, but I think it's coming together. Oh, you beauty. Look at that. Just sidetrack, I started watching Silo. 4 episodes in, and I'm loving it thus far. It has a Lost vibe to it with the mystery. Nice. Nice. I shall give that a look. Okay. Have an apple sub because of For All Mankind. Yeah, I might look at that myself as well. Right. Highlights are done for the most part. Yes. So we've got the highlights here, highlight there, highlight there, highlight there. What are we thinking? Bussard collectors next, perhaps? We all love a good Bussard collector. Get that out of the way. Yeah. Bussard. Give it a go. I think it's an interesting concept, good characters, and good writing. If it's an interesting concept, good characters, good writing, count me in. Because that's only what we're asking for. We're not asking for the world. Bussard collectors. That one. There. Whole 9 yards for this. Oh, Gooner, did you see the Papercraft Enterprise bridge, the final product? If so, what did you think to it? I think it turned out okay. How about you, Stephen? You were there to the end of the shift. End of the stream. Doesn't feel like work, I swear. That looks great, DM. Thank you. Appreciate that, Gooner. I'm not going to standing knife these out. I'm going to cut these out. So I don't think the standing knife's going to have quite the precision in terms of the curves. I think it looks fab. You have skills, my friend. Man of many talents. I think the more accurate one is Jack of all trades, master of none. That's how I feel anyway. Certainly not a master of. I've certainly not mastered this. But I'm going to keep up with it because I quite enjoy this. It makes for a nice stream. Although I do have a crease in there now, which I'm not annoyed about. Yeah, this can definitely become a regular thing. But what I might do is I might move it off the main channel and put it on my art channel. And just call it UKDM Art or something. Because not everyone will be interested in this. A lot of people here from my reviews and stuff, and it can affect the channel negatively. So, right, we have 2 Bussard collectors. I watched the stream. The bridge looked awesome. Again, I may be biased though. I can't imagine why. Well, to be fair, I'll get your opinion when I do the rest of the bridges, because I'm going to do the rest of the ships, the series, and their respective bridges. I'm not going to do characters yet. I'm not there yet. I've not figured out how to do that yet. But you know, we can work on other. There's loads of other things we could do. Right, we've got an issue here as well. This has come away, which I expected it would. So we're going to fix that now. Remember to put the damn lid back on. No. If I put you down, it means you stay down. Thank you. Right. Make sure we get these shapes on correctly. I think that is this one. Although I'm not overly keen on the shape there. That's really not good, is it? That doesn't look good at all. Stay, you little bastard. Yeah. I think maybe we can afford to go a little bit further in here. No. No, I'm becoming unhappy with that. That's not good. It's so delicate to do. Might be a case that we have to grin and bear it and cut it with the knife instead. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. That doesn't look right. What about this one? That one's not too bad. That one works, I think. That one, kind of needed to go a bit further down here, didn't it? That one, I'm sort of happy with. It looks all right. You do yourself a disservice. To do this isn't easy. To do it in front of a camera live is quite something else. Oh, mate, you're too kind. It's fine. It is. I mean, I do enjoy this. It is fun, but it's The thing is that you never really know if other people are going to get the same enjoyment out of it that you do. But I appreciate your kind words as always, my friend. I really do. Yeah, this is just not going to work. This bit here. I don't think that's good enough. I think that looks shocking. So I don't think there's any way I can repair that. I think I'm just gonna have to redo it. That I'm okay with. That side I'm fine with for the most part. This I think just looks really bad. Maybe there's a way. I mean, I'm going to sacrifice this bit anyway. Maybe there's a way we can make it a little bit. I mean, guys, I could do with your opinion on this. Does it look right? I have to say I'm not liking it. Let me see what I can do. See if I can do anything with the knife. Just go into it a little bit. Curve it round. Oh, that was tough to do. See what that looks like now. Does that look better? Something I'd urge you gents to check out on the Discord, mainly because Xell and I had the same idea. It's a video by JTVFX. It's a fan CGI celebrating the 60th. Basically, it's Starship Prawn. There's another name for that, but yes. I see what you were doing there. Also, there's a little bit here I'm not happy with. You might not be able to see it, but I'm just going to chop that up. Get rid of that. Make that smoother. I'm going for it. I'm not remaking this bit. It looks all right, I think. A bit better. It looks all right. Mostly happy. I wasn't to begin with, but yeah. I'm fairly certain. It'll do. And then we'll go with the Xell warp coil covers. Do that next. These are going to be interesting to do. I want there to be a gap here. So if we go like that, it's going to be thin, but hey, what does it matter? Yeah. See what happens. It's already looking. I think that's already looking pretty good. It's perfect, but you know, I can always trim around it if I need to. Yeah, it'll do fine. The overall aesthetic. The trouble is, at this point in the picture, you start thinking it doesn't look right. You start having a little bit of doubt, but then you start building the image and takes the focus off the thing that you're doing, and you're able to just look at the image in as a whole. So I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay. I'm doing it again, aren't I? Nope, I've drawn it on the wrong side. So, oh well, it doesn't really matter. It might make life a little bit harder later on, but that's okay. Might do these with the knife. This is also going to be the colour of the text, by the way. And the sheer act of cutting this material will occasionally mean you will crease it. Oh, these are tiny. That's one. That's two. Lid back on this just to be safe. Your work has the most important ingredient. It's the human touch. Yes, absolutely. It's not digital, CGI, or 3D printed. It's authentic. So even if there are imperfections, they're yours, and then what's makes it perfect. It's unique. Yep, absolutely. I agree. I appreciate those kind words. I really do. Yeah, I find a little bit of flaw in an image can really make it pop. In it, you sort of, yeah, I agree. Human touch matters. Right, we've got a little bit of an overhang there. Let's just double check we've got these pieces in the right way. I may just trim that down, give that an angle. Specifically that away. That. God, this is fiddly work. Fiddly work. Turn over. That's it. Up you go. Up you go. Wait, I said up you go. Yeah. I mean, they're there or thereabouts. And this one, I think, should go off slightly, and then I can trim that later. What are we thinking? I think that looks all right. A bit further up. Yeah. It's working. Snap Steven. Sorry, Stephen, didn't mean to steal what you said. Oh, made by human AI hands, not AI. That's what I meant. Oh, bless. Well, you're both saying the same thing. It must be true. So what I like about your drawings, about the drawings you did previously, DM, while the bridge and the Defiant didn't look perfect, there's a hand-drawn quality made by a human being. Yeah. I was on the same page as thinking by the looks of it. Bless you. Right. Yeah. Let's get these down. Let's get these down. Let's get these down. Let's go put it over there. Put it on there. I've not tried my new PVA glue yet, to be fair. I might try that at some point soon. I don't know. I need to do some testing with it. I'm not confident with it yet. I need to do some testing to make sure. Let's dig that out. The pig's getting a bit PVA'd up. Try not to jab myself at the same time. That would be good. No. Whew. Nacelles. Now there's going to be lines that I'm going to draw, obviously, around certain areas to really make it pop. That's annoying me there, that little bit of overhang. So let's chop that off. Beautiful. Yeah, that's good. Oh, that's not. Let's come up. Oh, let's not jab myself. Don't need to be doing that now, do I? Can't guarantee also how long this sort of thing will stay stuck. You know what I mean? Long term. It's not like oil paints where it lasts hundreds of years. Oh dear. I'm trying to think where to go next. Now, I'm wondering about the saucer now. Because if I start messing with shadow, it means I have to do everywhere else as well. But if I keep it two-tone rather than going three-tone, if I keep it two-tone and I go like, where's my highlight colour gone? If I put the highlight on there and then I can overlay without dropping everything, and overlay another level over there. And it might make it pop. Sadly, I have to get going. I want to add the description to last night's stream and got some bits to do. We'll hopefully join 10 forward tonight for a bit. Good luck with this. Thank you so much, Gooner. Hello, Watch Nerd. I was going to message you, see if you were up for tonight's stream, but I hope you're well. It's good to have you here as always. We're making the Enterprise, and it's going quite well. It's not going too bad. I'm almost surprised to say it's not going too badly. Right, we've got some flaws in the tracing here. So what I'm thinking, stay with me, is I'm thinking this section here, you might be able to see that. Should be on for a bit tonight. Oh, that'd be great, Watch Nerd. Thank you for agreeing to that. I know it's Sunday and it's a bit more difficult to stay late or anything, but I had no choice this week. We were out, so yeah. So this section, I'm gonna cut this section up to this line. So I'm gonna do this line here and go all the way around with a bit of the highlight. Then this section here, I'm going to do with the normal hull colour, this colour. So it'll be this colour, then this colour. And then it might help stand it off, maybe. So we'll do that now. I've got another hour before I have to start thinking about packing up. So let's just sketch the line that we want, because this line's a bit wonky. Yeah. So essentially we want the line. We can always overlap there or cut a bit back if we need to, if it doesn't position well. Yeah. Oh god, the episode the other day. What the hell were they thinking? Let's just redo Event Horizon in Star Trek. What the hell? Oh, it's such a lousy set of writers. And the thing is, they just bring different writers in for different episodes. They're not Star Trek writers. The guy who wrote that episode, apparently, he's a supernatural writer. It's like, oh, well, fine, but you don't know Star Trek. Have you done any research on what Star Trek is? Oh, I know Kirk, and I know Spock, and I know McCoy. Oh, McCoy's not in this one. Well, then I won't have any use for the Doctor then. Just add in graphite just so I've got a clean. I've got the chance for a clean transfer. I've no idea how this particular section is going to look. By the way, it may be the fact, or it may be the case that we have to make it give the appearance of being three-dimensional with the paint pens. With the direction of the windows. So again, this may be a complete and utter disaster, but it'll be my disaster. Does that look right? It's not bad, I suppose. It's not bad. Let's see what it looks like once we've finished it. Right, so I'm going to be doing a big oval. Probably you can angle that down a little bit. Try and save as much card as possible again. Anyone else dreading the upcoming puppet episode? Actually, no, I'm not dreading it at all. I think it's going to be highly entertaining. And the review I'm going to do will be based on how the hell they explain a transporter accident turning the crew into effing puppets. If I'm telling you now, if they say the transporter, if they come out with something like the transporter being came in contact with the puppet dimension, I'm going to lose my shit. And you can just see it happening, can't you? Ducking awful, truly. I thought it was just meh. Well, it was a really bad copy of a great film. Event Horizon is one of my favourite sci-fi horrors. And like I say, it's surprising, really, because Paul W.S. Anderson didn't really handle Resident Evil well, did he? Resident Evil was very mishandled as a Resident Evil franchise. It wasn't really Resident Evil. But Event Horizon remained one of my favourite films. Come on. You know, what's it? I doubt it would be any more logical an explanation than when they all started singing and dancing. Yeah, because it was the musical dimension, wasn't it? Oh, the musical dimension. At least on Buffy, the lore explanation made sense because of magic. Yeah, exactly. But that's all they think science is. They don't understand it, so they think it's magic. Obviously, it's not. It's science, for crying out loud. Do not crease this. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not bothered anymore by what they do. I'm just going to ridicule it if it needs ridiculing. I'm going to point out the positives, if there are any, which there seldom are, to be fair. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm not jumping the gun here. We've still got a few shockingly bad episodes to come, I think. This is that way. Right, so. Ooh. Oh, I'm not sure about this. We just have to wait and see what it looks like when we're done. Because I think it looks odd now, but let's do the next layer and see what it looks like. Because it might pop, you know. It might not, and then we'll have to think of something else. Because I don't know whether I want to do it all one tone. Let's see how it looks. Let's get the other layer on, and we'll see what the crack is. God, it's 10 minutes have gone by. Oh, God, bloody hell! Right, let's do this section now. Again, we'll give a rough, straight sketch line of what we want. We'll start pressing down a little bit harder. I think this should pop. If it doesn't, I'll come up with something else. This is going to be the line of the phaser ring as well, so that will help sort of bridge the gap between the two. The boy band Klingons were, oh God, I'm sorry, but they could have had Klingon opera and made it fucking work, but they didn't. They didn't, because it's too clever. And oh yeah, Klingon opera. Ridiculous television. I just don't understand how people can, how the studio allowed them to get away with making this. Absolute detritus. It's such a mess. So awful. I'm struggling to see the line now. Gets a little tiring, this does, after a while. Okay. Let's see if this works in any way, shape, or form. I mean, obviously with some adjustment and erasure of pen, that, believe it or not, I don't think that looks too bad at all. It kind of brings a different highlight. And obviously I'm going to be putting lots of windows in and stuff like that. I've got some precision pens I can do that with. But, you know, I don't think that actually looks too bad, if I'm being honest. Let's get rid of the excess pencil. Let's line it up with the picture as well so we can get an accurate idea of where we're supposed to be with it. So it's actually a bit further up. It's about there. Has to overlap that a little bit, I think. Yeah. And then we'll stick this bit in as well. What do we think? Probably bring it up to about there. I think that works. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more detail and a lot more stuff drawn in. I don't know, I think it looks decent. It was a good idea to use a different shade of paper to make the contrast pop, if that makes sense. Yeah, I agree. I think that looks really good. And obviously, it looks bad right now, but yeah, I think that's going to be just fine. Let's do it, shall we? Let's go on a mad gluing spree. I like gluing the big stuff. Big stuff is great. Yeah, it works for me. Oh, God, look at all the graphite on my fingers. Better give them a wash, actually. If I do any more intricate work in Tricot. Make sure I got this the right way around first. Before I add any glue, yeah, that's fine. Flip it over, add the glue. Glue stick's a real mess. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll look fine with some detail on it, I think. A bit annoyed about the shadowy bit here, but that's fine. That's all good. Right. One more trim to make. I've just spotted it. Don't cut too much. Beautiful. And then this. Getting a little bit nitpicky now, but I think I've earned it. Whew. Okay, what else are we looking at here? Captain's yacht. Again, we go with the opposite colour. It should pop, and then I can always draw the captain's yacht detail on later. I'll be honest with you. This isn't far away from actually sort of kind of being done in the sense of the paper side of things, because a lot more of this is going to be lines now, which I'll draw on with pencil first. I want to do the phaser thing, phasers, and the torpedo launcher and the phaser underneath in black paper. But we're not actually far away from it being somewhat completed in terms of the Enterprise. And what I'll do before the next stream is I'll do the Starfield background on a couple of sheets of paper. I'll get some like spares and stuff. I'll do the star splatter off camera, off stream. And then when we come back next time, whenever that's going to be, probably tomorrow, maybe. When we come back tomorrow, we'll have everything ready to put together, and I can do the text and the comm badge, which is here. And then we can stick it all together, and it should be done in 2 streams, because I think the Defiant was done in 2 streams. The Bridge took 3. So I'll stop yapping. Yap. That's the correct colour. And we'll get the bridge on. The captain's yacht. And all we're looking for is the shape, because this inner bit I'm just going to draw on, I think. Or I can do light and then dark. Let's do that. Let's try and make it as papercrafty as we can. There's a bike going down the road. Noisy bugger. Just build it up in different colours. Just stand it off. We'll see how we get on. It's all the way down here. There we go. Transfer that over. Cut it out. Let's try. Let's try and layer it. Shall we? shame we never really got to see the captain's yacht launched, and in Voyager. We saw it in Insurrection, I believe. Oh, not on this one. I believe we saw it in Insurrection, but it wasn't the Enterprise D yacht, and we never saw it in Voyager being launched. I don't think so, anyway. It was just one of those ships that we never really got to see on screen. I know that someone did something where you could actually see the captain's shot, but on Voyager, I think it was, did an animation which I thought was great at the time. Didn't the D have a captain? Yeah, this is what we're doing now, is the captain's job, but it didn't. It never got launched. We never saw it launch, which I thought, we always thought was a shame. Always thought that was a shame. Again, we line it up right. I think that'll look all right. Right now, it looks like it's got an eye that's watching a planet. Okay, yeah, let's do it. It's that way, isn't it? Where's my trace gone? There it is. Give or take, that's where it's meant to be. And then the actual tiny captain shot is fairly universal, so I don't suppose it matters what side I glue that. I haven't even got any glue on it. Oh, the glue barely touched. Right, yeah, happy with that. Oh, shocker. Right. Phaser rings. Do I draw the phaser rings on, or do I cut them? Cutting them will probably be better, given how time consuming and expensive it was for them to show the source of separation. Not really surprised they never got to on TNG. Yeah, got to put it in the film though. Additional evacuation vehicle. Do I draw the phaser rings on, or do I? Because that was tough. That was really tough. Do I cop out and do it on the edge here? Because this is where it's going to sit. If I do it on the edge here in black pen, or is it going to look too shit? It's a tough call. That's a tough call. Not one I'm going to make just yet. I'm going to start laying down some pencil work here to lay out where the pen work is going to go. And the pens, that's going to go to there. That's fine where it is. There's going to be a clear line there, and then that's going to go round there. That's going to be, actually, that will come out like that. I think I need to rip that out. Start again. Yeah, maybe. Right, that line is going to go there. That instantly looks better. And then the saucer separation line, I think, runs to about here. And then around to about here. Yeah, that looks good. And then we've got the insignia of the ship, the ID of the ship, and then we've got the phaser ring. I'm gonna have to make a decision on that next stream. I think we'll probably do some finishing touches to it, but I'm happy with those pencil lines. The phaser ring, for example, would probably start here and go around this edge here, which I probably should have done before gluing it down. I would very carefully fill this in. Before gradually disappearing into nothing. Captain's yacht, I believe, would have another oval, black oval there. We'd have the NCC-1701-D here. And then it's just going to be putting in lighting all the way around. So a mixture of yellow pen and black pen to do the dashes. And especially down there, but this ring here, probably just leave. I'll make the decision when I come to doing it, but this ring here is going to have. What do you? I'm really stuck now. I don't know whether to do it in black pen. Anything I put, any pen I put on here is permanent. That's the thing. That's why I've gone over it in pencil. I'm unsure. The windows, they're going to serve as giving all the angles and everything. As is the phaser array down here. So we're going to put the phaser array sort of here and have it follow that line there and go up. The photon launcher is going to go there. That's going to be a black strip, I think, and then it's going to go across there. So basically, I'll pull it up close so you can see. So those are the lines that I've put on it. I'm happy with the lines. We probably go with that round the Bussard collectors just to give some depth to that. Again, we're not looking for a tremendous amount of detail. We're literally just putting in some basic stuff. I may put a few lines in there just to give that an angle like that. Yeah, that might work. And then I believe there to be some additional phaser emitters there, and possibly there. So where's the writing start? So we got N C 1701 square O 1D. Probably do been a bit more round, maybe. I don't know. What do we think? Drawing the phases in is going to be a bit messy. I could try a ring. That might also look messy. I could try something else. It seems a bit daft, but it will prevent any overrun, or it might do. If I put that back on there and follow it round with a marker, I just have to be very careful around here. I could probably... don't know. It's a tough one. Let's see what kind of medium I've got. Let's see what kind of pens I've got that can do that. Can I follow a straight enough line? Ooh, I'm liking that. I mean, this is not test cards. So I've just buggered up there, but eesh. All right, this is where I need to just take a silent moment and contemplate my future. Eesh, get comfy. Right, I'm gonna practice there. Okay, are we ready? Let's see if we can do this. Not funny. Not funny. Not fucking funny. May just need to go over that a little bit. This may not have been a good idea. We shall see though. Not perfect. I'm not gonna lie. See if we can clean this up in areas. Ah, balls. Oh no, I went over. Damn. How easy it is to mess up. Sticking my tongue out, sign of concentration. Okay. It'd be an idea to put this back. See how we get on. Now. This is not good. Do not let it go over. Oh, the amount I'm having to hold my breath. That is a bit dodgy. Okay, not great. I understand it's not ideal. It's just the best I can do. So we've got different pens as well. Got a fine liner or two. We've got yellow and black, which is all we really need for the windows. The black, I'm gonna just test on here. Now the black's fine. All right, probably been better doing that phaser array with the black pen rather than the paintbrush pen. Let's go. I'm just going to stick the other light on. It might get a bit bright. It was probably really tricky to do that just right, but as we were saying earlier, it might not be perfect, but it conveys the right idea of what it's supposed to be. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, my friend. I appreciate your words. Thank you. Trouble is with pen, once you put it on, it's kind of permanent. So you want to make sure you get it right. I'm looking at 15 minutes, roughly, give or take. What I might also do, if I can, is trim this off. That is getting in the way, and it's come away. And then we can put that line in there. Right, this one might be a bit difficult. Put the line in. And then we'll add to it another line. Yep. Breathe in. I've got to remember to breathe. It's delicate work. This is. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Oh. There you go. Shall we do the writing? Yeah, let's do the writing. 1701-D. Okay, obviously a lot more detail to go in Windows and such, but basically it's there, right? The shape is there. It doesn't look too bad. It's okay. Let's let me just find. Let's see if I can find the Starfield from earlier, or just sheet of black card, make it pop out. Why not? Where is it? Where are you? In here somewhere. I had you earlier. It's probably in amongst all this. Nope. Let's put that silly bit of card. There we go. There we are. Right, so not this one, but imagine that. Imagine that it's not this one. That I think will pop out quite well. Obviously with the extra detail in it and everything like that. I think that'll pop out quite well. What do we think? Then you got the com badge up here, and then you got the next generation writing here. So a bit essentially it'll look a bit like that. To be fair, I'd angle it that way anyway, because I think that looks better. It kind of looks like it's flying through space. Turn that the way it's supposed to be on the camera, and then yeah, turn that down. Obviously with a bit more detail in it than that. That now look great so far. Thank you very much. I much appreciate it. We've got 2 rows of lights in here, so we have to be very careful how we draw those in. There are some escape pods here. Or look to be panels or escape pods here. I'm not going to do those. I'm going to do a few details in here, lighting and such, and lighting here, and probably down here. There's a couple of extra bits under here, but other than that, I'm calling that pretty much together. And then we'll do the writing, do the title, and with the com badge in the next stream. So we'll do the Windows, the title, the com badge in the next stream, and we'll stick it all together, and then we'll call that done. How's that sound? Maybe tomorrow, probably tomorrow, in fact, because Tuesday through to Wednesday, I think we're busy, so that's me and the wife will be spending some time, quality time together, kid free, I believe. So yeah, well, and then I'll probably be back on Wednesday. Suggesting maybe draw the windows with white pencil or pen. The issue with that, Stephen, it's a good suggestion. I like where you're going with it. The problem with white is, if I can find the white pen from yesterday. I don't think that was the one I was using yesterday. Yeah. I suppose actually, yeah, it would show up white. Would it show up white on the lighter stuff though? Is that the lighter stuff? Yeah, that's the lighter stuff. Does it stand out? What about the yellow? Let's try the yellow. It won't show up on camera. Well, it might actually. No, I agree. Mr. Brombear. I agree. White. We do white and black. That's a good shout. That's a really good shout. Again, white is going to have to be very, very gingerly put on, because this is quite a thick nib. So that's going to be based on skill. Let's do a little tester without putting my finger in it. getting it on the Enterprise itself. Let's see. Yeah, that's going to be very, 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 very lightly done. It's going to need to be very light. Ooh, that's going to be some tough work. Right, I'm going to leave this here then. I'm going to not touch it until next stream. I don't want to... I'm already not happy with the phaser rail, if I'm honest. But we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there, and we'll see how it's... Yeah, we'll see how we get on tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Shows on camera just fine. Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I think that's a good start. If it weren't damaged down here, I'd consider using this because I can fill in a lot of this with black. What I might actually start doing next time I decide to do ships like this, I can actually try and use some spray effects. Or perhaps some acrylics mixed on a wet background. I don't know. Maybe start doing some nebulous stuff. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to leave it there. We'll leave the Enterprise where it is. Looks a bit strange right now, but I think it will come together nicely once we've got some details in there. I always knew the Enterprise would be a tough one to do because there's a lot of angles. The Defiant was pretty tough because it was deciding what to put in there and where to put, but it's got standout pieces like the ablative armor, whereas the Enterprise is quite bland, and I think the original Enterprise is going to be a challenge to do as well. But I think that will be worth doing, and I think with the text on it, I think that'll pop really nice. So if we look at that and then get the bridge alongside, I think that looks pretty snazzy as a pair. I think that looks all right. And if I keep this up, if I do like series of this, I could have a lot of videos to put out on maybe just an art channel. What do you think? Right, yeah, I'm gonna get going because I've got to actually schedule the 10 forward stream before we go out, so I will schedule that now, and it'll probably be about, I don't know whether to do it at 7:30 or 8:30. 7:30. It might not be enough time. Once it's complete, it'll be awesome, I promise. Yeah, I agree. I know, mate. I know. It will look fine. It'll look good. It already looks 100 times better than I pictured it in my head. So that's progress, right? That's progress. And the Defiant, I think, looks fantastic as well. I really, really am chuffed with the Defiant. Chuffed with the writing as well. That's going to be a challenge to do with the next generation, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So yeah, I'll schedule 10 forward for 8:30 tonight. If you are about, then please do join us. It's going to be a right laugh, barrel of laughs. I can even, I think, show you let's give you a little glimpse of the thumbnail. Is it this one? Yeah, it's that one. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I'll catch you in 10 forward later. Take it easy. Look after yourselves.